Good evening, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. I will call the March 24, 2026 Wythe County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. I will note that we do have a quorum with all members present tonight. Tonight we have Pastor Paige Wimberly with us from Mount Pleasant United Methodist Church to provide the invocation. If you would stand and remain standing for the pledge.
Let's pray. Faithful and loving God, we thank you for the gift of this community and for the privilege of self-governance. We thank you for this Board of Supervisors and for all the work they do for Wythe County. As they work together, grant them wisdom and discernment to understand the needs of this county, courage to make difficult decisions, integrity to act justly, and empathy to serve with compassion. Shield them from partisan division and self-interest, and guide their hearts to be servants of your peace, promoting unity and care for all residents. Bless this meeting, Lord. May your Spirit guide every discussion, and may the outcomes be a blessing for our entire county. We ask this in the name of the one who loves us all, and all God's people say, Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the first item of business is to recognize some outstanding athletes in our community, especially for Wythe County. So when I call your name, if you would come up front, if I can have both the coaches that's in the congregation to come on up, or are present here today. And then Caleb Gibson, Chaz Penwright, and you said Justin wasn't here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if y'all would come on up here. Caleb?
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, before we start reading this, there was a promise made to you last year that he would have to come back. So I do want to note that we do have our former chairman, Brian Vault, in presence with us tonight to make sure that he's here to see you report the championship. So, all right. So we're going to read the sports resolution. We got a lot more to bring up here, so we're going to read this. And Bradley's going to help me hand out the certificates. So Wythe County Resolution 2026-04, honoring the Rural Retreat High School wrestling team. Whereas the Rural Retreat High School wrestling team demonstrated exceptional skills and dominance throughout the 25-26 season, accumulating a historical return to the pinnacle of Virginia high school wrestling. And whereas on February the 21st, 2026 at the Salem Civic Center, the Rural Retreat Indians reclaimed the VHSL 1 or Class 1 state championship title with an impressive team score of 216 points, marking the program's 5th state title. And whereas this monumental achievement was anchored by its elite performances of 3 individual state champions who reached the top of their podium. Caleb Gibson, 126-pound, captured his legendary 4th career state title, and that is awesome. Chaz Penwright, 157-pound, secured his 2nd career state title, and that is a feat as well. Jason Walker, who couldn't be here with us tonight, he's playing baseball, correct? Yes, Jason Walker, 138-pound, earned his 1st career state title. And whereas the Indians' depth was further proven by its grit of state runner-up, Graydon Gibson, if Graydon's here, if you could stand up.
He's baseball.
Okay, he's baseball as well. 132-pound, and 7 additional state-placing wrestlers, Ashton Bazeev, Gabe Cruey, Ian Baird, Peyton Newberry, William Rose, Hunter Pennington, Jameson Tibbs, and the vital contribution of teammates Samartin Bazeev, Dominic Lees, Houston Bair, and Mason Pennington, who collectively efforts ensured the drive for 5 becoming a reality. And whereas under the leadership of head coach Cade Rouse and assistant coaches Brian Gitson and Chase Brennan, The team's family-first culture and relentless work ethic restored the championship tradition to Rural Retreat. Now therefore be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors hereby celebrate the Rural Retreat High School wrestling team for their 2026 VHSL Class 1 state championship victory, and specifically honors Caleb Gibson, Chaz Penwright, and Justin Walker for their individual championship excellence. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to the team as a permanent tribute to the season that will be remembered in the halls of Rural Retreat High School for generations to come. Adopted this 24th day of March 2026. Signed, James D. Smith, Chair. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
It's your all.
Get the rest of the team.
Come on, guys. Oh, yeah, you're on one.
I'll entertain a motion to approve these resolutions.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Martin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Curry. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Congratulations,
Get the three of you
gentlemen.
in the middle with your resolution.
Thank you, sir.
And then half and half on either side, if that's the same.
Thanks, sir.
You switch back. Okay, you found one, did you? Okay, so you right here. And then you back to the end. There's a lot of, I switch everybody in victory now. We'll make it happen. Okay, then just keep smiling. Perfect.
Thank you, the rest of this. All right, thank you.
And I know all these young gentlemen and their families probably don't want to stay for the rest of this meeting. You're more than welcome to stay, but feel free to leave if you want to leave.
He's the first one at the door.
You can stay.
See you. Congratulations. He's the first one out the door. Cheese. Quick, good. Getting that quick. Yep. See, Mark.
Is that some of their resolutions there on the floor?
No, that's agendas
Okay.
or something else, so yeah.
All right. We'll take a deep breath and move on now, right? On that one. So can we do, no, all means, but congratulations to all those gentlemen and the hard work that they put in. Well deserved. So it's good to honor the youth of the county every opportunity we can do that. So moving on, the next item of business is citizens' time. Again, when you come up, just state your name, don't state your address. We got your address here on that one, and that's a safety precaution that we put in place. So the first person we have to speak is Mr. Andy Kegley.
Good evening, Andy Kegley. Here we are again. Another executive session on the agenda tonight to talk about another code-named project. The folks you work for do not know what Project Titan is. Maybe it's as simple as a plant expansion, or maybe it's another data center in Progress Park, or a gas-fired electric generation facility to run data centers. We'll keep badgering you until there is full disclosure instead of non-disclosure. A couple of questions. Just wondering, are FOIA requests shared with you from the staff? There's no reference to them in any reports to your meetings, and if not, we'd happily clue you in on what we're seeking and why and what we receive, such as the one that the JIDA rejected, and after a redirect to the county, a second clarification to your staff, we learned that the recorded Progress Park covenants from your 2001, the Progress Park covenants that were provided in 2001 to prospective industries, including Solis Arcs, contain a reference to, quote, recorded subdivision plat that shall be owned and maintained by the county as historic preservation and/or interpretation areas, end quote. The last word on the completed FOIA request from your staff is that, I quote, we do not have a record of one. At your last meeting, we were pretty sure the JIDA director was present, though his name was not listed in the minutes, nor visible in the YouTube video. Then when you guys went into executive session, we were pretty sure the JIDA director went in with you, though there was no identified disclosure about codename projects nor reference to anything of that nature, economic development, in your post-session resolution. In honor of the recent Sunshine Week audit of local government transparency by Cardinal News, we will try to do a better job of monitoring these sneaky actions, and we hope you will too. Finally, as negative publicity builds around the region, the state, and the nation against Big Daddy developments, we would like to request that you reconsider your sly, unannounced resolution from January 25 and rescind your support for any more data centers. Looking forward to the information system session on Monday. There will be suggestions and questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keglin. Next person on the list is Donna Nitschner. Oh, you're fine.
Yes, Donna Nichter, and I will say Whispering Pines Road because that's why I'm here to talk. Can you hear me all right?
You can
Yeah.
pull it down. if
No,
pull
you
it down.
can't.
Just pull it down.
I don't want you to get feedback.
There you
Is that okay? Yeah? Okay, thanks. Okay, so I do appreciate that we're going to have some community meetings that are going to provide some more information and hopefully take some input. I've been active in the community since the data center was announced and advocating for the entire county. Last Thursday, I learned that the land use ordinance draft proposes zoning in my backyard and the entire Whispering Pines Road neighborhood. The land surrounding and up to our fences in our neighborhood of 60 or so families is on the draft to be zoned commercial. We've got our little pink neighborhood here and all this to be zoned commercial. And now I'm advocating for my backyard and that of the entire neighborhood. It may be NIMBY, but my care as a retired social worker has always been beyond borders. When I moved here 4.5 years ago, it was after a few trips over the years with my husband for exploring where we wanted to settle. I lived in Buffalo, New York for 61 years, and I don't get around in the snow very well anymore. When we found 252 Whispering Pines Road, it was in a quiet neighborhood with a pastoral setting, surrounded by what appeared to be agricultural use. Our backyard at that time was bordered by a fallow meadow and fields with rolling hills and mountains beyond. I actually cried when I first saw it. A couple years later, the cows came on the land right up to the fence, which I kind of dig that. I talked to them, I sang to them. We did, after all, move into an agricultural area. Then a year or so later came the feedlot. Not so happy about that, but again, we border a farmer's property. What I didn't expect or want was to have a commercial zone up against our property or neighborhood. I have more questions than answers. What's already proposed for the land? What conversations have taken place? Have there been handshakes? Is money the bottom line, and for who? How will it affect our home values? What would the effect be on the land, air, and water? What will happen to the ecosystem and the creatures? What infrastructure needs to be created? What about the noise and dirt and light pollution created by all the construction? Will there be any consideration of the 60 or so families that this will affect? Will it affect my husband's livelihood? He's a voice actor and records all day long. How much more traffic will we be? I stayed at that traffic light, I can't tell you how long today already. I've talked to folks throughout the neighborhood. Some have been here for over 40 years, some just moved in. They settled here for the same reasons we did and are not happy either. I don't know if I'm tilting at windmills, but I sure hope we can come to some agreements that don't put profit over people. 1 second to spare.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thanks for listening, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, the zoning is scheduled for, the meeting scheduled for Monday at 6 PM at Fort Chisholm High School, so we encourage everybody to be there with your questions.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, that's all we have signed up to speak for citizens' time. With that, I'll close citizens' time. Next item on the agenda is payment of invoices. I'll entertain a motion to approve the invoices as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Terry, do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Burnett. Any questions or concerns or any invoices any member would like to pull out? All right, hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry, we'll start with you.
Aye.
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 So approved. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from a previous meeting, March the 10th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to approve the meetings as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Martin, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. Any questions or concerns, any adds or additions, subtractions? All right, hear none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, same sign. All right, so approved. Next item on the agenda is appointments. Looks like we have 2 appointments that we've been working on for a while. Does anybody have any updates on any of those?
No.
All right. Next item is the Davenport proposal. Mr. Breyer?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I had this on the agenda a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed it. I have reached back out, I have talked to Davenport. The status of the legislation right now, it is still in the hands of the conferees right now, and the general information we're hearing is that this will look at moving forward. I did talk with them about this proposed scope of services and Ms. Crockett's question about any potential savings or lower prices. They said it is a not to exceed. They definitely think with phase 1 it'll be nowhere close, and even with phase 2 they do not think that it will be the full amount. But they are willing to work with us and make sure they keep it within the scope that we're interested in the process, should the legislation pass. So I put it back on the agenda. If you all would like to proceed with it, I would recommend a motion to authorize the county administrator to enter into this agreement.
So if this doesn't pass, we don't do anything, right?
Correct.
All right. So what's the pleasure of the board?
I'm good with it.
I'll make that motion,
All
Mr.
right, I
Chairman.
got a motion by Mr. Terry to approve it. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Burnett. Does that generate any questions or concerns? All right, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett, we'll start with you.
Aye.
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 All right, so approved. Any other business under old business, Mr. Burnett?
I have none.
Mr. Hank?
No, sir.
All right, moving on to new business, consent calendar. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Morgan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Burnett. Any questions or concerns? All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved. Next item on the business is Commissioner Revenue. Mr. Linkus?
Good evening.
Hello, sir.
Adam Linkus, Commissioner of the Revenue. Just a quick update on our office. This time of year, we are receiving an update in our business personal property returns, accepting, reviewing our elderly and disabled tax relief applications, disabled veteran vehicle exemptions, and assisting people with state income taxes and forms, as well as usual business that affects us all year long. I did get an update today from reassessment. They are not fully, I don't think the full staff is working in Wythe County right now, but they are working along the east to west 81 corridor with reassessing those properties. Heavy emphasis on commercial property and business property right now within the towns and some in the county, as well as some residential. They will be here to set up their office on site next week, and from what I understand, will be present 3 days a week.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Linkus?
I actually have two, Mr. Linkus. Did you know how many people's using the elderly tax relief?
I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 250.
About
Give or
250
take.
people. Okay. The other thing is, and you've responded to me by email, and I appreciate that, but I've had several citizens ask about how the machinery and tool tax is assessed. Would you be able to just address that real quick so we have it on record? I mean, on YouTube, if you're
I don't
able.
have any numbers or percentages with me, but it's based on what they send in.
Right.
And then a depreciation off of the numbers they turn in.
Okay. Very, very good. And then if they don't send anything in,
They get what we call a statutory assessment, which is a percentage increase on the last thing they turned in or what their statutory assessment was last year. So usually the higher increase of the tax bill will get them in motion to actually turn in something that's real.
thank you very much. That's all I had.
Welcome.
Any other questions? So on the elderly taxes, are you seeing an increase this year over the past years, or is it about the same now?
It's too early to tell because they have through the rest of April to apply.
Okay, good deal. All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Next item is treasurer update from Ms. Lori Gwynn.
Good evening. It's good to be back with all of you again. Before I get into an update, I'll just go over a couple of things. In your board packet, Ms. Woods had included the financial report. And of course, normally when I come, I kind of just hit some high spots on some things with us there. So I'll just do those usual high spots. For us, or for the month end of February, the consolidated account contained a balance of $93,588,000. Included in that was the general fund balance of $65,624,000. So as you see, our breakdown through there, we're actually in really good shape cash-wise right now, but that will continue to change because we're past our high points of collections with taxes as far as being through the so-called tax season. So staying on taxes, couple of items to note. Real estate taxes, we issued around 19,500 tax bills back in November that had a December 5th due date. And as I mentioned before, thank you for leaving the due date as was because we've gotten everybody kind of back on track maybe. At this time, as of end of day yesterday, of those 19,500, we had about 2,400 tax bills that were delinquent on real estate, and that's just for 2025. That does not count previous years, only 2025 taxes. And that equated out to about $1.2 million that was still outstanding. A lot of those bills also have prior year tax that's unpaid. We have a lot of parcels that are with our collection attorneys, which I'll touch on just a little bit later on. Collections so far through the end of February, just because it's easier to go to a month in on a collection rate. For real estate taxes for the 2025 year, we're at about 91.5%. So in comparison, I had a percentage for the end of March of last year, so I'm going to use that just on it'd be 11-month difference instead of 12 months. End of March last year, we were at 92.5. So I'm going to say on track of where we were at last year, but we are noticing collections are not as easy as they used to be, and it's requiring a lot more on that side. Moving to personal property, we issued about 28,000 tax bills. At this point, through end of day yesterday, about 8,100 bills are delinquent for a total of 1.7 million. Collections through the end of February is about 88% overall with personal property, and again, this is 2025 only. We were at 92% at the end of March last year. So we may or may not pick up the 4% over the next month. We do have a lot of folks that are paying because they've received their income tax refunds at this point. So that does drive collections right now. And then delinquent notices will be coming out around the 1st of May. So we'll issue those. They'll have till the end of May to pay. And then kind of touching back on collections, for personal property, we'll start placing holds against vehicle registrations in early June. We're currently issuing warrants in debt to obtain judgments if necessary on accounts. Actually have court in 2 weeks, and we issued about 65 warrants in debt. Judge Maeve has been really great about letting us issue however many we want. We previously had restrictions, and General District was telling us we could only issue about 30 to 35 at a time. And Judge Maeve told me, he said, it's unlimited. If you want to issue 30, issue 30. If you want to issue 300 for one court date, I don't care. So that's opened that up for us to be able to issue more there. This year, we were able, and when I say year, I'm going to say fiscal year. Back in the fall, when the state issued the income tax rebates, the $200 rebates, we were at a little bit of a downtime that we were able to get some accounts submitted to Department of Taxation, and we were able to claim a lot of $200 tax rebates or a portion thereof. And then with the tax due date being December 5th, we were also able to take advantage of this new filing year. So we sent in about 550 claims to the Department of Taxation, and so far I think we've had about 90. We call them hits, is what we call them. It's probably not the true technical term, but we call them 90 hits, 90 claims. And we've been fairly successful with that. Of course, what that does with Department of Taxation, it not only allows us to claim income tax refunds, but if there's any lottery winnings, of course, if you win over $600, you have to go to the Abingdon office or wherever to claim that money. So if anybody has to go to that office, then we're able to take part of their lottery winnings as well. And they don't like that either. That's about as bad as the income tax refund, to be quite frank about it. So that's kind of where we are with collections, with delinquencies, kind of what we're doing along that line, kind of coming back around on a combined collection rate right now. We're at about 90% as far as collecting our 2025 taxes in combining both of those. But our collections have kind of dropped over the years, but it seems like the last few years, especially with COVID, I think, where things have changed with the economy, prices are going up on things. Obviously folks are choosing to pay their bills, eat, get medications over paying their taxes. And I understand that. I totally understand that. It is a struggle for some folks to pay, but we're trying to be reasonable with what we can still collect. We do have a lot of parcels in collections with TACS. Coming back to the real estate side, so Mr. Smith, you had asked me not long ago about a parcel. I hope within about the next month we'll start turning everyone over that owes at least 2021 taxes and forward. My goal is by the end of this year to get all of 2021s and 2022s turned over. So any taxpayer that owes real estate taxes for those years and prior will be in collections. So that's kind of where we are on a summary. Any questions or anything that I didn't cover that maybe I need to explain a little bit more on?
So the parcel that I requested from you, I know I get that question asked every 2 weeks, so I'll give it another month, then I'll give
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think the taxes, they started with 2021, was that correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I'm hoping to get started on those. We're kind of wrapping up with a few things and getting through the set-off debt collections and get a few of those things. But usually by about April, depending on where we're at, we can start working on that a little bit more. So try to work on it a few hours a week and turn however many parcels we can get turned over at a time and just keep it moving.
Okay.
But yeah, certainly check back.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Quinn? So I know that we did have the one finding about on the audit. Where are we at on that as far as the balancing, please?
We're currently working with
Juan Garcia, Hickok
Garcia,
Brown.
thank you. I could only think of one,
Yes.
sorry, thank you. Juan Garcia with Hickok and Fern, to go back. He has redesigned a reconciliation for us. We're not quite getting it to work out, so we're kind of going back and forth with him to get a lot of that figured out, so we're working with him through that now. My person that handles that was out yesterday, and we had actually talked the end of last week, maybe seeing if we can get a Teams meeting with him or something, because trying to communicate through email is kind of hard to understand some things versus if you can actually talk to somebody and both of you are looking at the same thing. And that way, we're not having to have him make the trip up here, but we can kind of communicate like that. But my staff's been working on that, the ones that deal with that directly. So I've helped out where I can and what I can, and we're looking at it. And some things we honestly cannot make heads or tails of just because we're not understanding his setup. So we've got to get some clarification on some things there. But he has told my staff, of course I know he's in a busy season right now. He said, we will get all of this worked out. He said, just be patient. But we're not quite as patient just because we're wanting to try to get work through it, but we understand his work schedule.
You had to put a percentage on it. What percentage would you say you're complete?
When he came in, we reworked through July, so he did that. He was going to once my staff worked through that, he was going to reformulate a spreadsheet for August. He did that. We can't get that to work out at all. And that's where we're hung up. So I've had my group to go back and use our old version and just nitpick, try to cover everything so that when he can work with us on that, we can come forward with it. So we're kind of stuck right now, just trying to get all that work through and figure out his formulas and some of the things with his new spreadsheet, because it is totally different, and there's a few things we just can't understand how he has it.
So that's August of 25, right?
Yes, because we're in 26, yes.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. You all have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the Barrett Mill Water Improvement Project, additional line extensions. Mr. Barrett?
Yes, I would ask that you all take two actions. We're working on the Barrett Mill project. Rural Development has approved a change order in the amount of $88,820 to run water on Sand Mountain Lane. I would request approval of that change order.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the request as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Morgan, is that you? All right, and a second by Mr. Cook. Any questions about that request? All right, here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved.
Second is Cherry Blossom Lane. It was not in the original project PER, therefore Rural Development will not issue a permit or will not issue a change order for this work. We had local money involved in that project. We have enough money to move forward, and we have citizens that want water, so I would request that you authorize the county to issue a purchase order for $113,750 to our contractor to provide water to those residents on Cherry Blossom Lane.
So I entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Martin, a second by Mr. Terry. Any questions or concerns about that request? All right, here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 All right, so approved. Next item on the agenda is the VDOT six-year plan, review and potential roads.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we VDOT has provided this to us as, we provided them these roads as our options. They have come back with the estimates and what is eligible under the rural rustic concept. We have $773,000 roughly to apply towards the roads. I need to have some guidance from you all of which 1, 2, or 3 roads up to and maybe slightly exceeding the 773 you all would like to proceed with. And I've got my Ryan Lawson calculator to add it up as we go.
I think Mr. Martin has a question for you on one of the roads that's on
Yep.
there.
So, in conversation with a resident in my district, Racetrack Road has already been done by VDOT.
The first part of Racetrack Road has been done by VDOT. They went up, I think that due to some damage caused by all the trucks that were doing repairs to Helene. That has been done. This is from the end of pavement to the dead end. But the primary concern, as I understood last year and when Mr. Ball originally had this been looked at, was taken care of with the original paving. So that, I do not know if there's more residents wanting it the rest of the way, or if it's just carryover on their list because of that.
All right, which roads to?
I've had several residents expressed interest on the Olive Branch.
Anybody else got any other road?
Crawfish Road, I've had numerous landowners on that strip of road that have approached me about the possibility of getting it surfaced.
This is the second part of it. Currently, all the way to Harry Joe Yates's bridge is on the 6-year plan.
Okay,
This is from there out.
this would be from there on out. Of course, there's 2 pretty good-sized operators that have moved into that area with larger trucks, and as well as for that road, overgrown farm machinery. You know, if you've got a tractor and trailer coming out with a load of produce or a load of livestock, kind of tight quarters in places coming through there, especially if you meet them in the right area.
And I've had several people talk to me about the Fox Den Road.
So is it on there? I don't see Fox then.
It's very.
Fox Den's very top.
Okay, I'm sorry, yeah, I see it now. Which one did you say? You say crawfish, is that what you said?
Crawfish, yes, sir.
Those 3 combined would be
8,000.
$1,006,701 roughly, 707. It's 225, 250 over the limit. Now, last year, y'all may remember when we put crawfish on there, it actually went over the limit a little bit, and we had to put some of that money towards this one. So if you would like for me to send these 3 to them, we can do that and see if that's too far over the limit. Just means next year, $225,000 is already spoken for in the process.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I'm good with that.
Good with that.
Sounds like what action you need from us, Steve?
I guess if you all just make a motion to authorize staff to proceed with presenting olive branch, crawfish, and fox den to VDOT for potential inclusion on the 6-year plan and set the public hearing, that'd be fine.
I'll make that a motion.
Mr. Burner? Second by Mr. Martin. All right, all in favor, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved. Anything else on the 6-year plan?
No, sir.
While we're talking about VDOT, well, no, I'm talking about that when we get to my time. Next item on the agenda is the fourth quarter appropriations. So I will entertain a motion to approve those appropriations as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Morgan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Terry. Any questions or concerns? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 So approved. Any other new business, Mr. Burnett?
Informational purposes, Mr. Hankins had to step out. A contractor installing a fiber optic line, as I understand it, over in the eastern end of the county, hit into our water line today, and so we had a major leak over there. Mr. Hankins probably can tell you the roads better than I can, but I think from his neighborhood in Newtown to Store Hill Road, out 619 and up 94.
All the way to Porter's Crossroads and up Sheffey to 1164 Sheffey School Road. So
I'll have a boil water notice. They've got water back on, but just because of the health department, when you have a leak and you repair it, you have to put out the boil water notice. We've notified the health department. We put out the boil water notice. We'll have to get two clear samples and get those tested and approved before we release the boil water notice. But just wanted to let you all know, and I think you just sent out the notification.
just sent out the notification, and I still anticipate I'll take a shower in the morning.
So anyway, just want to provide that for information, sir.
Do you have anything for new business, Mr. Hankins?
No, sir.
All right, moving on to staff reports. With you, Mr. Hankins, Deputy County Administrator. Mr. Hankins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I do have grant acceptance. Ms. Williams has submitted a grant in consultation with Emergency Services. It's for a special extractor to help clean the air packs, the mask, the packs, the bottles after they've been in a fire. That's a very easily neglected area not to clean, but it's the one that's exposed to some of the highest levels of carcinogens when we're in fires. So this would give all of our departments the opportunity to come together, use a centrally located extractor to clean that gear up and help reduce the exposure our volunteer firefighters and our paid staff face when they've been exposed to those carcinogens. There is no local match. The Department of Fire Programs funded nearly $30,000 for this. I would ask that you accept the grant award and authorize us to proceed with the purchase.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Martin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved.
Met last week with staff from Bland County. As you know, as most of you know, we took out our old VHF frequency radios a couple of years ago, replaced them with UHF frequencies. We've gotten much better coverage, much better building penetration with those radios. It's been a really nice upgrade for us. Since we no longer have a use for the VHF radios, we've been looking for an outlet to sell them at surplus. Bland County would very much like to continue using their VHF system, but they would like to upgrade, and the equipment that we took out of service a couple of years ago would be an upgrade from what they're using now. This would include repeaters, radios, and other loose equipment that goes with them. Would ask that you authorize staff to negotiate purchase price for Bland to be able to purchase that equipment and use it.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the request as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Terry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Burnett. Any questions or concerns with that? All right, here now, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 So approved.
You've already mentioned that we have our land use classification meeting on Monday. If you have things that you'd like to see us include, if you would, just email me. We're going to give folks the opportunity to submit questions. So far, we've been doing that online, and so far I think I've had 5 submit questions online. Some were specifically about their properties in particular, some were about policy questions. So be glad to talk to folks on Monday. Just would remind folks that this is an informal session. It's that there will be a brief presentation, but it's more the opportunity for folks to talk to you all, to talk to the Planning Commission, to talk to the staff, and give us feedback about what they've read in the ordinance. So I would encourage people to read the ordinance. I know it's 72 pages of riveting reading, but it is among the shortest available zoning ordinances that you'll find in Virginia. So.
So one thing on that, Mr. Hankins, I did have a conversation with a couple of gentlemen last night about that, and I explained to them that it would be an informal session, that we would be there, the Planning Commission would be there. They would have the opportunity to speak to any one of us or any 2 of us, or all of us, to get their questions answered. So I did kind of communicate that to them. So just so everybody knows, it's not going to be as structured as our meetings. You're going to get more than 3 minutes to speak. They were worried about they would only get 3 minutes, and I assured them that they would get as long as they needed to.
And that's part of the reason why we're having this set up. We're not trying to treat it like a public hearing where you don't come up and you only have a certain amount of time and all of that. Get the feedback now. That will have to come before we adopt it, or present it for adoption, but that's that will at least allow everybody some feedback, paper to get back and then changes, map concerns. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people. I've had a few phone calls already about why am I zoned this? What do I do? Things like that.
I have a question on that. With your write-up in the report, it said that some board members and planning commissioners will attend, but yet on our agenda, it's got that we are going to adjourn to that meeting, which means it's kind of mandatory for us all. Which is it?
We have advertised that you all will be in attendance, but that it is not a formal meeting of the board.
So more than a few of us will be there, all of us will be.
We have advertised that it is likely that more than 3 board members and more than 3 planning commissioners will be there, so you're covered. You're not taking any action, you're not taking any votes, you're just being there in your capacity as an elected official, so you don't have to advertise it as a meeting. We just took the extra step of making sure that we advertised that you all were all going to be together in the same place, just so you're covered.
But we don't have to be there.
Correct.
I'll leave that up to the chairman, Mr. Cook.
I'm just asking, for planning, planning to me is, I'm stuck in planning anyhow. I live in town, she lives in town, we're stuck with planning anyway. So
I thought maybe it was next to your nap time, but that's later in the evening.
Nap time.
Just messing with you, Mr. Cook. Anything else?
I'm fine with attending. I just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah.
Do have one more thing I want to go over, Mr. Chairman. We've been working closely with the Mount Rogers Planning District Commission, which is overseeing the VATI grant. It's the grant that's helping to get broadband spread throughout the county. They are overseeing the work now of Citizens Co-op, and Citizens has provided an update for us. Now that the ice has thawed and things are greening up, their contractors are making faster progress. So in the eastern end of the county, they're currently working towpath to Reed Creek and around Oak Hill Lane and Fox Drive. They're working on Major Grams Road from towpath to the bridge and around Graham Robinson Road. They're working Dry Pond Road and Crescent Lane, and all 3 of those areas are anticipated that they'll be wrapped up by the end of this week if everything goes well. Beetle Spinner, River Hills, Woodland, River's Edge, Waterview, and Old Cabin back in that private road. They've got a local contractor who's expecting to wrap up work next week. And then on Old School Road, Fox Den Road, Harmon Road, and Marble Road, they are supposed to be underway now. They were supposed to start the 16th. They had a second contractor come on to help with that work. They're also working as of this week in Connor Valley and on Greenbrier Road. So they're making some pretty substantial progress. We've told folks, reach out to us if you have questions or contact Mount Rogers Planning District, which is running it. Citizens and Point Broadband, which serves the western end of the county, have locator tools on their websites. So you can go onto those websites, see if you are eligible to connect to the broadband through them. If you're eligible, they'll let you know. If not, they'll ask you to give them a call so they can make sure that you're on their list of addresses to be served. So if you have folks who need to ask questions about broadband, they're free to contact me or Mount Rogers Planning District for hopefully the answers that they're looking for. I know folks have been very patient. And again, Citizens is trying to wrap this project up by the end of this year. And the fact that they're adding additional contractors should help them get to that point.
Good deal. No, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hankins, and I'll just mention right now, if you have an opportunity, while not any grant funded or anything with us, on the western end of the county, apparently Brightspeed is starting to overlay fiber throughout that area. And I don't know how large of an area they're covering or anything else, but if we can get any information about that, just to share.
They got federal grant money for that in the program before BEAD. It's taken them a while to get that project up and running, but I can pull that back out.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, County Administrator, Mr. Byron.
Good evening. First item is a wastewater pretreatment program resolution. Mr. Chris talked a little bit about this previously. He's talked about it in his budget meeting. We've had a pretreatment ordinance for years. DEQ is requiring us to create a pretreatment program. I would request that you all adopt the resolution that he has presented.
Now we entertain a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Cook. Do I have a second? Was that you, Mr. Terry?
Yes, sir.
All right, second by Mr. Terry. I do have one question.
Yeah.
Since this is commercial, I probably will-
It would involve industries inside the industrial park.
Okay, that's all I needed to. All right, got a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
So approved.
Next, Speedwell Dry Run Creek Emergency Watershed. You all have approved that work going forward. I would request y'all amend and appropriate $150,000 to $9,443,0555, and we will add a corresponding grant revenue line.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to the request as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Martin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. Any questions or concerns? Here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 All right, so approved.
As you are aware, we have been in discussions with the town of Wytheville on an extension of the current emergency services agreement. Amendment 2 is in your package. I would request that the board approve the emergency services agreement, amendment number 2 with the town of Wytheville.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve this request as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Terry. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. Any questions or concerns? Here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved.
Next item I've got is just the deed to convey the old jail property to the town of Wytheville. I did talk to Mr. Slint today. They're still working on their deed to, or lease to convey the tower site to us. The agreement y'all just agreed gives us 60 days both to execute that. I would request we just hold that until we have a chance to review their lease easement or agreement, and then we will execute both of the, or ours, and they will execute theirs on their side.
All right.
Next is Progress Park Rail Crossing Project. We have hired the services of engineering firm to work on the putting in signalization. This would put in the stop bars and the lights at the Gator Lane, Kent's Lane crossing. I would request the board amend and appropriate $90,440 into $9,470,248 to allow this project to move forward with engineering services. I will note that this project is 100% VDOT funded, but it has to be locally administered, and that's why we are doing the engineering work.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve this request as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Burnett. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Martin. Any questions or concerns? It's just gonna slow me down getting to work.
It probably will.
We'll do a roll call vote, Mr. Turner.
Aye.
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 So approved.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Right, thank you,
Mr. Chairman, if you wouldn't mind, I did skip one item. Could we go back to page 139?
Yes, sir.
Our 911 dispatchers are hardworking folks who don't get a lot of recognition. They do have a National Telecommunicator Week coming up in April, and I've included a draft proclamation. If it's the will of the board, I would ask that you adopt that proclamation so that we can share it with our 911 telecommunicators in honor and gratitude for their work.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Got a motion by Mr. Cook. Second by Mr. Terry. Any questions or concerns? I don't think so. Do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
So approved. And thank those men and women for everything that they do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to County Attorney, Mr. Father.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything to report at
Yes, you
this
do.
time.
You have an opioid settlement.
Oh, I do have an opioid settlement. Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Bear. There has been
Just for the record, if you have
another,
anything to say, someone's gonna call you out.
yeah, it's,
Probably
did you put
important.
that in the package?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, there is an opioid settlement. We are involved in national opioid settlements ongoing. We've had a couple of these. There's a group of, I think there's 6 of these that have settled. It's more of a regional distributor. These are regional distributors, I think, maybe in the southeast, that have reached a settlement with this conglomerate or class action lawsuit. We have outside counsel for this, Mr. Eric Barton and his law firm. He has recommended that we accept this settlement. Once that money, it's a large number, but it's being divided among a huge amount of plaintiffs. So we don't have a number of what would actually come to us. Of course, these settlement funds are restricted to be used for certain purposes. But our outside counsel, Mr. Barton, recommends that we approve this settlement and authorize me to sign those documents on behalf of the board. So I would ask for a motion to that effect.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve this request as presented by Mr. Father.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Morgan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cook. Any questions or concerns with this? All right, here now, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved. Anything else, Mr. Father?
I guess we should ask Mr. Bear that question, but I appreciate Mr. Bear reminding me of that, but no, sir, I do not have anything else.
I should have reminded him in our meeting this morning that this was on here, but some of these come with my signature, some of them come with his signature, and this one, I think, had his signature on it, and that's.
It's a DocuSign, and I'm the one that's getting those emails to sign, so.
All right, good deal. Moving on to board reports, Mr. Terry.
Nothing unless Mr. Bear says I do.
Mr. Morgan.
The only thing I have is the meeting with the data center people. Is anything happening with that?
Still do not have a date or a time set on that. We had a conversation with the individual and are still working on options on that.
Well, we need to work on options pretty quick.
Very quickly.
That's all I have.
Mr. Martin.
No, sir.
Mr. Cook.
Nope.
Ms. Crockett.
Mr. Hankins, I believe you walked in after citizens' time, but if you could include the land behind Whispering Pines for Monday, for the land use. And then I would like to thank Mr. Catron and the IT department for working very hard on reducing or getting the amount of spam that we get.
Absolutely.
So
Thank
it's
you.
been a huge improvement in me being attentive to emails.
Is that it? Mr. Burnett?
I have a few things. On the VDOT roads, would we be able to reach out to VDOT and find out, get a list of dirt roads left in the county? I think I know of all my roads, but it'd be handy to know so that maybe we can get together and come up with a plan. Second item is Dunford Road and the water extension on that. If we can, I done forgot his name.
Rob.
Thrall. Yes.
780 or something?
Yes, if you could, I think we included that in the email. Would you be able to respond to Aaron, please?
Okay.
Mr. Thrum?
What's the last name?
Throm.
Throm? Okay.
And then I still have several, I know we approved the boiler for the cannery, but could we get an update on that? Obviously not tonight, but be handy.
Yes, certainly can. Yep.
Yes, Mr. Link has talked about the elderly tax relief, and I briefly mentioned it a few sessions ago, about looking at that and seeing if we can get that increased. And I know it wouldn't go in effect this year, but maybe if we could work on that, if the board chooses, please. And then the last thing is for Mr. Hankin. When I've talked to a lot of my citizens about the zoning ordinance, there's a lot of questions that's based on the state building code versus and the relationship to how the zoning is how that applies to zoning. And if we can make sure that we can address that during, because a lot of people, they see in the zoning package that, we have a square footage, and that is based off of our state building code, and from my understanding. And so if we could kind of do a correlation between that when we do our presentation on Monday.
In talking with the building inspector, we have a lot of folks who don't want either the building code or the zoning code. We have quite a few folks who don't think the building code applies to them anyway, and usually they're wrong.
Correct. It's just, I have a lot of people that see this zoning ordinance and they think it's something brand new. And it's really not. It's based off of our state building code. And if we could just, that way they can understand that.
I'll try to explain it as best I can.
Thank you. And that's all I had, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. So first thing, I just want to thank Mr. Hankins for taking care of a possible rabbit animal last Friday. I know he got us in touch with the right people, and then we've had conversations to make sure that the right information was shared with the 911 operators. It's kind of got a little cloudy there, but we got that straightened out. So thank you, and whoever you worked with, Mr. Hankins, on that one to get that taken care of.
I hope it's resolved and hope there's no more.
Yeah, me too. The second thing I got, Mr. Bear, Mr. Hankins, and Mr. Fodler, since you're here. So getting a lot of questions, and I'm not even gonna call them questions, there's a lot of accusations out in the public that the county got a sign-on bonus with Solus Arc. I don't know of any sign-on bonuses that the county's got as far as any industries coming in. The other part of that is members of the board and Mr. Bear and Mr. Hankins are getting kickbacks from Solus Arc. I can only speak for myself. I checked my financials when I left the house. I don't see any deposits from anybody other than my employer that I've worked at for 20 years. So anybody that wants to compare financial records with a third-party auditor, I'm more than willing to open them up. So I don't have nothing to hide.
I'm on the same train.
I can lay down at night and close my eyes and know everything that I've done's in the right site with the good Lord. So if anybody wants to have that conversation, I'll do it. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Again, there's a lot of accusations going around. Next thing I've got is building on what Ms. Crockett talked about, Whispering Pines, Mr. Hankins. So if you could, I know I mentioned it to Mr. Bear earlier, can we check and see, I know a lot of the property on the interstate corridors in the enterprise zone. Let's check and make sure how much of that fell in behind the Whispering Pines, because a lot of the conversations that I had on the phone calls that I've had about the zoning has been from the residents in Whispering Pines, and I understand their concerns and frustrations there. So we need to make sure that we check into that.
And I just brought up the map after you mentioned it there. It appears most of the enterprise zone is along Factory Outlet Merchants Mall and the old Factory Outlet Merchants itself. It does not appear the area she referenced is in the enterprise zone.
Okay.
But I will confirm that with JIDA on their final map and make certain.
Okay. Yeah, if we can have that ready to go, because I know that's going to be a big question when we, especially from residents of Whispering Pines area, when we get there. Talked about that. Jones Road, I know we've talked about it several times about looking at VDOT, see if we can get that onto the 6-year plan, but I know that there's an issue with that curve, about how much rock will have to be cut out of that. So if we can talk to Mr. Schwartz on that. Then Miller's Creek, the resident that was having the issue with the bridge, have we got an update on what we were able to help, or if we could help?
Ms. Williams, I know, talked to the individual, met with them, has been following up with Mount Rogers PDC, who is the ones that have the grant money for that. And she has been following up with them. He's also, I think, been talking some to the building official as well on some of his concerns out there on it, but.
I believe the property owner was also talking to their insurer as well.
Okay.
So I will check on it, but I do understand that it is being, it's in MRPDC's hands, I guess, as far as whether or not it gets the grant funds provided.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to reach out to that. And then the last thing I got is the VDOT as a whole throughout the county, been throughout the county quite a bit over the last month or so. And I know it's been, the weather just has broke for them to get out to make pothole repairs, but there's a lot of potholes in the county on several roads. So I would just recommend if you have a pothole on your street or stretch of road near your home, to reach out to your representative that's sitting up here, and we'll get VDOT on it as quick as we can. James and his team's been real good about responding to us, so it's a good relationship with VDOT. So.
Mr. Smith, there's also a really good tool online. VDOT has a tool on their website. You can report a pothole, and that generates a work order for VDOT, and they're generally pretty quick about addressing those. So it's a pretty easy tool to find. It's on their front page.
Good deal.
Can I throw something in here real quick? 52 trash collection points, there's a big pothole right in our property, right in the center of it.
Okay.
You're coming in there that needs to be fixed.
All right, that's all I have.
Forgot about it, I'm sorry, getting old, it's hard to remember.
That's all I have. Next item on the business is closed meeting under Code of Virginia 2.23711A5, prospective business or industry, Project Titan, and Code of Virginia 2.23711A3, acquisition, disposition of real property, East Wytheville and Fort Chiswell. I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session. And a motion by Mr. Terry, do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cook. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 Aye. We're now in closed session. I'll entertain a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Terry. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We're now back in open session. Mr. Terry, can you read the certification?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Whereas the Wythe County Board of Supervisors has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. Excuse me. Whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Wythe County Board of Supervisors that such meeting was conducted in conformity with the Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which the certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in this motion convening this closed meeting were heard, discussed, and are considered by the Wythe County Board of Supervisors. And I will make that a motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Martin. Do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
So approved. Is there any more business to come before the board? Mr. Byer, no? Mr. Farley?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Collins? All right, here none. We will be in recess until 6 p.m. on Monday, March the 30th, 2026 at the Fort Chiswell High School Gymnasium, 1 Pioneer Trail, Max Meadows, Virginia. Land use classifications / zoning ordinance public information meeting. That we are in recess.